and tomorrow Brother Ifemi has invited me to come over to his family house for lunch. It could be what I am thinking. Give me Brother Femi. Give me Brother Femi. Shatabako Satalatena. Give me Brother Femi. I like Brother Femi, and that is why I'm
North exit.
Rocha náà pé bí. Àròpọ̀rẹ́ yín rèé, ọ̀dúndún ọmọ asọ̀dé dẹ̀rọ̀. Ẹ̀rà pẹ̀rẹ̀kẹ́ mi mú yà. Aṣẹ́wó yìí má máa sọ̀rọ̀ jàre. Ó wà nú mọ́tò tó wà lẹ́yìn mi, ó wà àtiwájú mi. Aṣẹ́wó ṣe. Everybody ló ń bá rìn kiri. Ó yẹ kẹ́ ẹ ti mọ obìnrin yẹn bẹ́yẹn. Because pastor ẹ káàárọ̀. Ó ń bá ẹ pé fídíò tí mo play yẹn bẹ́yẹn. Give me brother Femi. Jẹ́ kí n tún play ẹ̀kẹ́ gbọ́. Jerry pastor ní àárọ̀ yìí, ó ṣeé ṣe kẹ́ ẹ fò bọ́ọ̀lẹ̀ nínú mọ́tò lórí eré torí nǹkan tí màá sọ láàárọ̀ yìí, ó máa dùn yín gan. Torí ara yín ò ní gbà á. Ara yín ò ní gbà á. Ní Nàìjíríà tèmi mọ̀, pastor, ṣé mélòó làwa pastor tó kù ń bẹ̀ báyìí? Bóyá la lè ju 1% mọ́. Àwa pastor tó kù, stomach infrastructure pastor ló kù. Ẹ̀já sọ̀tọ̀. Stomach infrastructure pastors ló kù. Lórílẹ̀-èdè yẹn. Bàtà wa yìí ń dàgbà. Bọ́ ipò aṣọ àwọn bàbá Adébóyè yìí, bàbá Kúmúyì ẹ̀ máa sunkún àti bẹ́ẹ̀ 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 lọ. Jésù olómi yèyé omi yìí, Babalọ́lá olómi yèyé o, Bátí o, ọba dáre, evangelist, general evangelist, kí ló ń kọ bàbá yẹn? CAC yẹn, Fákẹ́yẹ, Àǹdó, bàbá Fákẹ́yẹ, ti movement, gbogbo wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn ní church. Ṣé pé ẹ máa gbé fóònù dání, Bible yín lẹ máa gbé. Ẹ bá ń lọ sí church, báàgì yín, Bible yẹn á wà nínú ẹ̀, báyìí fóònù lẹ máa mú lọ. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe máa máa TikTok, lẹ máa máa Facebook, bẹ́ẹ̀ máa máa Facebook, lẹ máa máa Insta, lẹ máa máa Insta, bẹ́ẹ̀ máa máa Insta, bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ máa máa Google. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń Google bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ AI. Ní church, pastor, àwa pastor tó kù báyìí bá a ṣe máa ríran pé à ń lọ sí à ń bá àwọn kinní kan jẹun, a ṣe máa ra big jet, tá a máa sọ pé ní Amẹ́ríkà, a débẹ̀, a sọ fọ́lọ́run pé Ọlọ́run gbọ́dọ̀ sí snow, òtútù gbọ́dọ̀ mú, oòrùn dẹ̀ máa jáde ní winter time. Àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ burúkú láì sọ lẹ́nu wa. Orí wa ti dàrú. Àwa pastor tá a kù sí Nàìjíríà, 1% péré ló kù ńbẹ̀ nínú wa. Ó lè ní gbogbo wa. 1% péré ló kù. Títí kan àwọn àáfàá clerics, títí kan àwọn aláwo kọ̀ọ̀kan, ó lè ní gbogbo wa. 1% péré ló kù. Stomach infrastructure là ń bá kiri. Ní tí mo kà nú Bíbélì, tí mo dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé ó ṣẹlẹ̀ nígbà ayé àwọn àpọ́stélì, tó dẹ̀ ṣẹlẹ̀ nígbà ayé àwọn akọni ìgbàgbọ́. Tí ìlú bá rí bó ṣe rí yìí, téèyàn ń kú lọ́tùn tó ń kú lósì tí gbogbo ẹ̀ ti dàrú. Ṣé ìwọ ti rẹ́dì? Ṣé o gbọ́ pé ogun ń bọ̀ ṣá? O ò gbọ́, o ò tíì gbọ́. kì í ṣọ̀rọ̀ ogun Iran nìkan ọ̀ ó ti escalate kọjá muhu wàyé mọ́yà kankankan sáré jẹ́ẹ̀tì àbí ìjọ ọmọlọ́lá Dr. Ọmọlúlú lọ́yọ̀ọ́ àbí Kẹ́mi lọ́yọ̀ọ́ post kìíní kan ó ní most of journalists wọ́n ti sá kúrò Nàìjíríà wọ́n sá kúrò Nàìjíríà there's a lot going on pé anything ló lè ṣẹlẹ̀ at this time in point kì í ṣe àkókò àdúrà rárá 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 kì í ṣe àkókò ẹ máa sọ pé ẹ ríran mọ́tò òkú kan wọ́n lọ fi handkerchief jí òkú it's not the time this is the time tí bàbá pastor Kúmúyì kí n má tiẹ̀ pé bàbá kankan bí kan ẹ ṣe bàbá mi ayé àtijọ́ nìyẹn pastor Adébóyè kò yẹ ká fi pastor sórúkọ wọn gan mọ́ báyìí MFM lórúkọ yẹn tó ń tin àwọn ọmọ ìjọ ìmọ̀lẹ́ kiri àwọn CAC Olúkọ̀yà náà ni gbogbo yín gbogbo wa má sọ pé gbogbo yín torí èmi náà wà ń bẹ̀ this is the time fẹ́ papọ̀ ní ti redeem ní ti kálíkì ní ti CAC èmi ní ti sẹ̀lẹ́ kì í ṣe táìmù yẹn lélẹ̀ èmi ní ti kíní kan kì í ṣe táìmù yẹn ni táìmù tó yẹ kẹ́ ẹ papọ̀ kẹ́ ẹ rally yẹn ò dẹ̀ ní jẹ́ violence ẹ rally lọ sí ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn House of Assembly representative Senate House rally lọ sí Aso Rock kí bàbá Adébóyè àti Oyèdèpò kan lead ẹ̀ kí placard yẹn wà ń bẹ̀ wípé there must be a peace in this country ẹ má support olóṣèlú kankan ẹ má support Tinubu ẹ má support Peter ẹ má support nobody ọmọ ìlú yín ọjọ́ ọ̀la ìlú yín nítorí pé tó bá jẹ́ pé àwọn bàbá Orímọládé ti balẹ̀ jẹ́ kẹ́ tó dé ni ẹ ní máa kọ́ mọ́ṣán ńláńlá wèrè tẹ́ ń kọ́ kiri ìbí omi sọ last time ní gbáyìn tó ń sọ̀sọ̀kúsọ lẹ́nu wọn ò rọ̀ játijàti ní bàbá ẹ̀dẹ̀ dákẹ́ ẹ̀dẹ̀ ń wò wọ́n nù nìkan lọ máa gbàdúrà 40 days tá a bá ti wọnú ọdún ní 90 days prayer 100 days prayer kò sí ìlú kan tí wọ́n ti ń kírun tán ń ṣe kinní báyìí àbí tán forí balẹ̀ tó jẹ́ pé ìlú yẹn ni àdúrà gbàlà mi ò rí ẹyọ kan mi ò rí ìlú kan tán fi àdúrà develop economy mi ò rí ìlú kan tán fi àdúrà tán fi ṣe what is it called security wọn mi ì rí ìlú kan nínú ayé tó jẹ́ pé àdúrà ẹkúnlẹ̀ gorí òkè ẹ lọ sí Jerusalem ìfúngàn Israel tó ń jagun lọ́wọ́ tó ń bò páàdì ara wọn nígbà tẹ́mi lọ sí Jerusalem tí mo lọ bẹ̀ mo fojú mi rí ìbọn lọ́wọ́ àwọn ọmọ wọn kéékèèké obìnrin ìbọn káàkiri security wọn ó gbóyìn ẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ wà lọ bẹ̀ ẹ sọ pé Holy Land ń bì kan ẹ sọ pé Holy Land ìfúngàn ìdímilí wọn já ládùúgbò mi Holy Land yẹn there is no place that is not Holy Land there is no place tí kì í ṣe Holy Land hold on. Ẹ má bínú ẹ̀yin tèmi mo kí yín bàbá kí yín ìyá mi gbogbo ẹ̀yin àti ẹ bá mi pín tẹ́ ń pín program tẹ̀dẹ̀ ń subscribe ayé ò ní pín yín jẹ o wọn ò ní fẹ̀jẹ̀ mi àti ẹ̀yin wọn ò ní fi ṣètùtù ìlú tá à ń gbé tẹ bá mọ bí ikú ṣe ń wọlé tọ̀ àwọn èèyàn l'Amẹ́ríkà yìí ẹ̀rù gan á bà yín Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ ká bọ́jọ́ ọlọ́jọ́ lọ. Tó bá jẹ́ ti ìlú Amẹ́ríkà, ẹ wo ìlú Amẹ́ríkà, àwọn kan bú Trump, ó lóun fẹ́ make ìlú great, ó lóun fẹ́ káwọn kan wá bàlújẹ́ lọ́fíìsì tèmi, ẹ̀ẹ̀mẹ́ta náà fọ́ ọ́fíìsì mi. Ṣé àwọn tó wá fọ́ ọ́fíìsì mi, ṣé tọ́wọ́ bá tẹ̀ wọ́n tán bá dá wọn padà sílùú wọn, ṣé rò pé inú mi ò ní dùn ni? I don't have anything against anybody. Ó láwọn nǹkan tí Trump ṣe tínú bí mi sí, ó dẹ̀ láwọn nǹkan tó ṣe ká máa gbé kúrò sí. Báwo lọkùnrin àtọkùnrin ṣe máa sọ wípé ọkọ àtaya ló kàn wọ́n ká máa fẹ́ra? Irú orí burúkú òṣèlú ìwọ ni? Mi ò culture tèmi, culture mi kọ́ nìyẹn. Tí ìwọ bá support wọn, go ahead, support orí burúkú ẹ̀ kò kàn mí. Nǹkan tó wù ẹ́ ló lè fàyè ẹ̀ ṣe. But ìlú tèmi tó jẹ́ wípé mo rántí mi dẹ̀ lè gbàgbé, ẹ̀gbọ́n wa kan wà ní Ukraine nígbà yẹn. Tẹ bá wo air strike, tẹ bá wo missile tán send sí Ukraine ní ẹnu ọjọ́ mẹ́ta tí Russia send síbẹ̀, apá Amẹ́ríkà gan ò ká gbogbo nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ mọ́. Wípé ogun àgbáyé ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kẹta pé kò ní í ṣẹlẹ̀, ẹ tú dànù. Ṣé o ti rẹ́dì? Ṣé Nàìjíríà ti rẹ́dì? Ìbéèrè tó yẹ ká béèrè lọ́wọ́ ara wa nìyẹn. Ìbéèrè tó yẹ ká béèrè lọ́wọ́ ara wa nìyẹn pé kí là ń ṣe? Ẹ wo ikú òjijì tó wọlé bá àwọn èèyàn ní Benue State. Nǹkan tó wá bà mí nínú jẹ́, tó yẹ kí àwọn pásítọ̀, àwa pásítọ̀ kó yẹ ká jáde ká sọ ilé ìjọ ìtọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ fún Tinubu nìyẹn. Benue State yẹn, ìtú jẹ́ kí n dá ọ̀rọ̀ pásítọ̀ sílẹ̀ láàárọ̀ pásítọ̀ ni wípé ǹjẹ́ jẹ́ mọ̀ pé pásítọ̀ ni gómìnà wọn? Kò sí pásítọ̀ gidi ní Nàìjíríà mọ́ títí tó fi dórí èmi, gbogbo wa olè ni wá. Fake. Ẹ wo Enoch, pásítọ̀ Enoch, ṣé kí lorúkọ Abia State àbí whatever, mi ò kò lè jẹ́ Abia, state kan ní ilẹ̀ Igbo ń bẹ̀ yẹn. Ó ń ti káàmpù tó ń ṣe orí burúkú kiri torí pé ó fẹ́ lọ lẹ́lẹ́kẹ̀ẹ́jì nǹkan. Nǹkan tó wá bà mí nínú jẹ́, Benue government wọ́n dẹ̀ lọ announce wípé kán welcome Tinubu in colourful way, tó jẹ́ pé àwọn èèyàn kú ikú òjijì lọ rẹ́rẹ́rẹ́rẹ́rẹ́. Wá ní kí wọ́n máa in colourful way. How? Aṣọ dúdú ló yẹ kí gbogbo yín wọ̀. Aṣọ dúdú ló yẹ kẹ́gbọ́n gan wọ̀ lọ síbẹ̀. Wọ́n wá tún lọ ṣe nǹkan tó bà mí níjẹ́ pé public holiday for what? Ṣé kò yẹ kẹ́ ẹ ti mourn before that time kí Tinubu tó wá? Ṣé ó yẹ kí Tinubu gan tiẹ̀ kó tiẹ̀ gbà kẹ́ ṣe rọ́bìṣì yẹn? So ẹ̀jẹ̀ lẹ́ ń mu báyìí tẹ̀ fi ń govern àwọn èèyàn. A dẹ̀ mọ bó ṣe jẹ́. Àwọn adaran Fúlàní ló ń pa àwọn èèyàn. Terrorist ní internationally wọ́n ní àwọn ní deadliest group láyé. Ẹ dẹ̀ ń fọwọ́ pa wọ́n lórí. No open grace. Ṣé ẹ lè ṣe lélẹ́yìn ni tí Tinubu bá pè wọ́n wá, ẹ ò lè lé wọn jáde? Ibi tó yẹ káwọn pásítọ̀, àwọn cleric kan ti dìde kán bá Tinubu sọ̀tọ̀rọ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ń bá sọ̀tọ̀rọ̀, kẹ́dẹ̀ máa kó àdúrà bò oníkọ̀rọ̀ yàrá. Torí pé àwọn tó kó Tinubu kó tira olórí burúkú ayé àti ọ̀run òun ló pọ̀ nínú wọn jù. Wọn ò fẹ́ràn Tinubu. Erin kárelé káwájọba náà ń fi Tinubu ṣe. I can tell. Wọn ò fẹ́ràn ẹ̀, wọ́n fẹ́ tì ṣubú ni. Kẹ́ ẹ má lè mọ̀ wípé àwọn Fúlàní ló fẹ́ ba ìjọba yìí jẹ́. Ṣé kò yẹ kẹ́ ẹ mọ̀? Abẹ́ fẹ́ sọ fún mi pé ẹ mọ̀ ní kẹ́gbọ́n devolve. Devolution of power is the solution. Oníkálukú kán lè ní agbára, kán lè lẹ́nu, kán lè dáàbò bóra wọn. Is the way out. Apá ẹ̀gbọ́n ò lè ká. Because àwọn tó yí ẹ̀gbọ́n ká. Ṣé bí Fúlàní náà lẹ̀gbọ́n fi sí gbogbo àwọn security kíní kan, ìwọ ni state of security o, ìwọ ni kíní kan for security o. Àwọn náà ní tí ó possible káwọn olùkọ́ máa pọ̀ ọmọ ìyá wọn ni. Kò possible. Buhari ní ẹ máa bọ̀. Láti la Áfíríkà ẹ máa bọ̀. Wọ́n dẹ̀ wọlé wá. Ṣé ẹ gbàgbé wípé àwọn tá sọ pé wọ́n repent láyé ìgbà Buhari, níbo náà kó wọn sí? Ibi tá ti lọ pa àwọn ará Benue láti ṣé aago 10 ni wọ́n dẹ̀ sọ wípé kíní ò jìnnà síbẹ̀, kò jìnnà síbẹ̀. Return stations àwọn army sí, wọ́n dẹ̀ yin títí ilẹ̀ fi mọ́, wọ́n yìnbọn títí ilẹ̀ fi mọ́. Ẹ̀gbọ́n, bá a ṣe fẹ́ràn ẹ tó, listen sí àwọn, kì í ṣọ̀rọ̀ loyalties, àwọn loyalties tó kó tira, owó ni wọ́n ń jí, bọ́n ṣe máa jẹun náà ń wá. Àwọn technocrats ló yẹ kẹ́ kó tira. Gbàgbé loyalties, gbàgbé. Ẹ̀gbọ́n Gbajabiamila tó sọ pé àwa tá à ń jà fún Yorùbá struggle gbà pé terrorist ló yẹ kán fi kàn wá. Ṣebí ìwọ ni chief kíní ń sìn, kí ló dé tẹ́ lè bẹ́gbọ́n sọ ògidì ọ̀rọ̀? Mo gba ẹ̀gbọ́n sí Democrat, mo gbà á sí ẹni tó ti jẹba tó sọ wípé I don't believe in one Nigeria. Tí Ọbásanjọ́ tó ṣe iṣẹ́ ibi burúkú ní Èkó ńgbà tó jẹ́ gómìnà, gbogbo wa la dó tiẹ̀ náà. Ó wá ń wo Fúlàní, wọ́n wá ń fi ẹ̀jẹ̀, wọ́n wá bá ẹ fi ń rọ̀ ní presidency ẹ̀, ó dẹ̀ dákẹ́ síbẹ̀. Àwọn kan wá ń push ẹ̀ fún 8 years. Tí ìlú ìgbé ìtọ́lọ̀ fún yín, ẹ béèrè àlàáfíà tẹ́ fi jẹ́ tán. Iná tẹ́ ẹ sọ wípé tọ́ ẹ̀ bá ti rí iná kán má dìbò fún yín nígbà kejì. Àwọn tó dẹ̀ jí yín ká dẹ̀ gbọ́, ọmọ Yorùbá, ọmọ Ìbàdàn, òun ni minister for power, ó dẹ̀ ń gbẹ́rù wúwo lórí àwọn èèyàn. Ẹ̀gbọ́n tẹ̀yàn bá sọ fún yín, iṣẹ́ tó close nílùú ti pọ̀ jù. Òótọ́ ni mò ń sọ fún yín, iṣẹ́ ti close gan o. Àwọn tó ń parọ́ fún ẹ, irọ́ náà ń pa o. Èmi wò ó wípé àwa pásítọ̀, Bàbá Adébóyè particular, ẹ̀yin ni, tá a bá ní ká mú ẹni tó ṣíwájú jáde nínú Christianity, ẹ̀yin ni. Ẹ̀yin là á dẹ̀ máa pe orúkọ ẹ̀. Ẹ̀yin là á máa pe orúkọ ẹ̀. Torí pé bàbá ọmọ ní gbọ́mọ, ìrùkẹ̀rẹ̀ ní gbọ́mọ Ọ̀rúnmìlà. Ẹ̀yin là á máa pe orúkọ ẹ̀ sà. Ọ̀rọ̀ ẹyọ kan ó lè tún nǹkan ṣe o. Ẹ pé àwọn àgbààgbà, ẹ pé Oyèdépò, ẹ pé Kúmúyì, ẹ pé wọ́n mára. Ẹ bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀! Let them speak the truth as like Elijah did in the past. Your silence is ringing a bell of evil from the land of law. Ní Benue, kí èèyàn wo dídí àwọn family member 20 kan dẹ̀ pa wọ́n lọ́jọ́ kan.
People. And I want to use this opportunity to inform the international public, the Vatican, the well-meaning people all over the world that Benue State is under siege. This is a pogrom of our people. A genocide is taking place. There's a war against our people. And Mr. President, I want to use this opportunity to emphasize the fact that there's a war against people in a part of your country. Let me say that yesterday, there's an age-old adage, even in several cultures, that you cannot beat people up and stop, or cannot beat a child up and stop the child from crying. When our people cried out, when we embarked upon our legitimate constitutional duty to protest, we were confronted with tear gas, with scores of personnel who from nowhere came out, who are not able to confront these killers but are able to confront protesters. We saw helicopters hovering over protesters, helicopters that we did not see go to Yelwata and intercept the people. So we are concerned about what is happening. Some of us have waited and have given the president, the governor, the benefit of doubt to intervene. But after 2 years, we cannot keep quiet anymore, including those who were declared as...
I like Brother Femi, and that is why I've come before you, oh Lord. Remember my agreement with you this year.
11 members of his family died in one house. Aja also lost all his goods and property during the attack. He spoke with News Central. Let's take a look.
My whole family members that died yesterday, day before yesterday, on that very day, there were 20. That is my own family members. I'm not talking about any other thing. That is my own family members. This is my store. They burn my clothes. They burn everything. They burn our food. All my family members, what we came out with is our clothes, what we wear. On that very day, rain started in the evening. So we entered. I slept there. So I was sleeping. Around 10:20, we had gunshot at back there. So before we could notice that something is happened, Fulani men, they entered this place.
How are you sure they are Fulani men?
Because they were speaking and I was inside.
This is why I don't like the way we are hypocrite, politicize everything in Nigeria. What should you? Could everybody want to tell me that none of us that we all know that it is Fulani that is destructing the peace of Nigeria. We all know this kind of NBC regulation. It's killing. It's killing. Now, opera and reference. Only taking back. I don't believe in all these pastor, pastor. We then call themselves pastor. They can't enter into this politics. Eh? If they talk, say, make people they know, make them know be harm. Why? America gan from one gbébọn now. Ṣé ká pa gbogbo èèyàn tán ni? Tẹ́mi bá gbébọn tó mọ orí ìbọn tó wà lọ́wọ́ mi tí wọ́n gbébọn bọ̀. Àmọ́jọ para wá nínú ẹni tó ń pa 20 family member ẹ̀ tó ń bá níbọn sìn bó ṣe escape ṣé kò ní at least apá mẹ́rin inú wọn kó tó di pókú. Ìjọ míì wọn ò ní wá mọ́. Director DSS ó sọ pé ó fi kinní kan ṣe àkàwé mu ní fídíò yẹn tí ń bá rí màá play ẹ̀. Ó ní ìlú kan ní ibi ṣé area north àbí Benue yẹn náà ni wọ́n fẹ́ wá ja ìlú yẹn àwọn Fúlàní bá kógun ja ìlú yẹn. Wọ́n ti fẹ́ tara wọn tó wà lórí igi àwọn tó wà lórí kinní wọ́n padà wọ́n fèsì wọn láti ìgbà yẹn wọn ò wá sí ìlú yẹn mọ́. An eye for an eye ni ká ẹ fi ṣe.
I heard them clearly. Not somebody told me. I was inside the room there and they surrounded that room. I was inside the room and I heard them clearly happen. Fulani men, they entered this place.
How are you sure they are Fulani men?
Because they were speaking and I was inside the room and I heard them clearly. Not somebody told me. I was inside the room there and they surrounded.
How many of these Fulani people in Nigeria? Can't stop stop it. You press mute and you call yourself pastors. Most of all these stupid pastors, most of us are Malu Lani and Fulani instinct. Most of these pastors. Nígbà Akérédolú ló lọ pa àwọn èèyàn nínú church ńgbà yẹn. Ṣé ẹ fẹ́ sọ fún mi pé ẹ̀mẹ̀ pa àwọn Fúlàní ló ń ṣe ibi ni? Bẹ́ẹ̀ inú oko wọn pa àyàn. Ẹ wo yin brother kí lórúkọ ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ Supreme Court wọ́n tún ní ká lọ hàn gé ọmọ ọlọ́mọ yẹn tó protect ara ẹ̀ nínú oko ẹ̀ tó ń kó nǹkan jẹ́wọ́ oko ẹ̀. Ilé ìwà sọ pé báwo ló ṣe mọ̀ pé Fúlàní ẹnu ẹ̀yìn ló máa pa ẹ́.
Surrounded that room. I escaped narrowly. My brothers born in this house. Some escaped. My dad born in this house.
My heart goes out to this young man, Michael Aja, an experience of how he lost 20 members of his family. Your thoughts?
If the color of blood is red and the color of blood is everywhere in Benue because of the killing, isn't that enough need to introspect before the sycophancy that I see coming out of the state government? These are lives that you will never get back. Look at that man that said he lost 20 people in his family. Do you know the emotional trauma and pain he will live with for the rest of his life? Do you know the night?
It's not about ransom. They just want to pass a message. We can come in. We can do what we need to do. And there are some hardliners in this government that are sponsoring this kind of narratives. They just want to show that they can Islamize this country. They think about Taliban. They think about the Mujahideens. And they want to replicate it in this country. And they don't care what happened. They simply don't care. As long as at the end of the day, there's Sharia and there is whatever thing they have in their head they want to achieve. So these people that are sending messages are sponsored by Nigerians. You remember this Boko Haram issue started since 2012. Yeah. And I was in the military intelligence that time. We arrested those people. It is my organization that actually conducts interrogation and interview. And they mention names. I mean, I can't come on air and start mentioning names of people that are presently in government now that I know. Presently in government. That the boys that we arrested mentioned. Some of them are governors now.
lára wọn ni ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Ojúyọbọ lọ mú kó lọ mọ́ deputize òun tó ń rí agbésùmọ̀mí nílé ẹ̀ nígbà ayé Buhari ni mọ́ọ̀nì ti sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀gbọ́n débẹ̀ báyìí ẹ̀gbọ́n ń ronú 4 years instead of kó tẹ̀lé nǹkan tí àwọn tán jọ ṣe struggle yìí kó tẹ̀lé ṣé ẹ̀gbọ́n fẹ́ sọ fún mi pé ògbọ́n ju Àgbákòbá ni ògbọ́n ju àbí.
I put you in a rather difficult situation. Perhaps not sure. What you, at this age, what you probably will imagine you'll be in. But it's going to be a very few minutes of feeling like that. Let's assume that you are President Olisa Agbakoba, President of Nigeria. Just for a moment, imagine it. And for all you have analyzed, President Olisa Agbakoba, what would you do to Nigeria today if you were the president?
The first thing I'll do is to dismantle the Constitution. That's the first thing I'll do. I'll dismantle the Constitution. I'll call in the elders, social elders, religious elders, traditional elders, political elders, and say, I'm in trouble. Things are not working. What can we do?
Exactly.
I'll have a frank conversation and say, I'd like to make Nigeria a place where everybody feels equal. And the only way I can do it is to take government to the roots. There are things I can't do that I see in the Constitution. I don't want to do them. So I would like to have a situation where I distribute power and pass a new constitution. And in fact, I see a model. I see the 1963 model. Can we have that so that the regions will have its space? MKO once told me when I visited him that one of the ways in which he had peace was he never allowed any wife to dominate. So if wife A wanted to cook okra soup for the kids, that's fine. Another one wants to cook amala, that is fine. But if you decide to have one central wife who says today is rice and beans, but most of the children don't want it, then there's a problem. So decentralization is the way to go.
Sadly, your reign as president is over. And unfortunately...
Agbakoba jẹ́ president ní ìṣẹ́jú kan lórí online. Ó dẹ̀ solve problem tí Nàìjíríà ní. Ojú kòkòrò jẹ́ mú díẹ̀ sí. Òun ló pa Goodluck Jonathan. Ojú kòkòrò mo fẹ́ ṣe ìgbà kẹta. Òun ló pa Ọbásanjọ́. Ojú kòkòrò òun ló ń pa ẹ̀gbọ́n mi lọ ńsìn. Ojú kòkòrò ó lè kí mú díẹ̀ sí kí mú díẹ̀ sí. Ilẹ̀ fẹ́ ṣe fẹ́ dọ́lọ́run ni. Ṣe fẹ́ dọ́lọ́run ni. Òun ni Jonathan ké Ọbásanjọ́ ń ké. Ọbásanjọ́ gáàdì Tinubu nígbà tó jẹ́ gọ́fúnà Èkó. Kíní wọ̀nyí ò lé ẹ̀gbọ́n. Ẹ ṣe nǹkan tó yẹ kẹ́ ṣe sá. Erin wá lelé ká wá jọba. Erin yẹ́yẹ́, erin yẹ̀yẹ̀ náà ń ṣe fún yín o. Erin yẹ́yẹ́, erin yẹ̀yẹ̀ náà ń ṣe fún yín. Ẹ̀yin olórí burúkú pásítọ̀ tẹ́ ti sọ gbogbo àwọn ọmọ wa dolóṣó. Ẹ̀yin nu Ọlọ́run nù. Ìkan leléyìí sìn. And one brother Fẹ́mi, wọ́n ṣe sọ pé ó wá bàbá àròpọ̀ ire. Ó ní ìdá àti gbàdúrà kan send message sí mi sọ pé ó fẹ́ bàbá àròpọ̀ ire. Màá reply, ó ní ìdá àti gbàdúrà rárá.
11 members of his family died in one house. Aja also lost all his goods and property during the attack.
President Bola Tinubu, 2 years are gone. Half of your constitutional mandate spent navigating the stormy waters of reform, resistance, and rising hardship. You came to office promising a renewed hope agenda, telling Nigerians that the pain would be temporary, like that of a childbirth, and that joy would follow. But 2 years in, the cries have grown perhaps louder, and many now wonder, when will the joy come? Inflation surged, food inflation went to an all-time height, transport costs were tripled, and the average Nigerian now spends more of their income just to eat, as if they are lucky. Petrol is hovering over 700 naira per litre, and electricity tariffs have risen even as supply is still very erratic. And yet, the Nigerian people, resilient, loyal, enduring, have held on. But holding on cannot be the national plan. You promised to lift millions out of poverty, create thousands of digital jobs in 24 months, and double power generation. These were not poetic aspirations. They were campaign commitments. Mr. President, time is not on your side. You have just 12 months before the political season begins to whisper again. If ever there was a time to show the fruits of sacrifice, it is now. You are the president of both your lovers and your loudest critics, the hopefuls who sang your name at the polls and the skeptics who prayed you will fail. But leadership demands maturity of mind and empathy of heart. You now preside over a fractured but hopeful nation. Good people, bad politics, and an ugly economy. Nigeria today is at a historic inflection point. Mismanage these opportunities, sir, and we risk descending into a cycle of unrest, disillusionment, and regret. But if you rise, Mr. President, to the moment, and you could become a defining leader, one whose name is etched in gold as a man who brought Nigeria back from the brink, you must ignore sycophants who clap in darkness while citizens cry in daylight. Mr. President, please urgently surround yourself with thinkers, doers, and patriots, not just loyalists. Every day must come.
Egbon, surround yourself with patriots, thinkers, not just loyalists. Àwọn tá ẹ kó yára, erin wẹ́wẹ́ erin yẹ̀yẹ́, káre ilé ò ká wá jọba, ká wá ṣe 8 years, wọ́n fẹ́ kó bá yín ní ẹ̀gbọ́n. Olè ni wọ́n. Gbogbo àwa pásítọ̀ tá a wà Nàìjíríà, olè ni gbogbo wa. 1%, kò tó 1% tó kù Nàìjíríà mọ́. Olè ni gbogbo wa ta. A ò ju 1%. Nígbà ayé àwọn wòlíì gidi, wọ́n á sọ òótọ́ sí power. Ikú lọ̀tún, ikú lósì, àrùn, àìsàn, hospitals, kò sí kankan. Ẹ wá ń tan ẹ̀gbọ́n, ẹ̀yin àwọn tẹ́ kórè, ẹ wá ń tàn pé iṣẹ́ ń lọ, gbogbo ẹ̀ ń ṣe, nǹkan ò lọ ẹ̀gbọ́n o, má jẹ́ kán tàn ẹ́ o. Àwa tá a lè sọ̀tọ̀ fún ẹ lélẹ̀. Ìwọ tó o bá pín program ayé ò ní pín ẹ lọ́mọ jẹ, wọn ò ní pín ẹ láyé jẹ. Àwọn irú program wọ̀nyí báyìí ẹ kì í like ẹ̀. Tó wáyé pé mo wà níbì kan báyìí tí mo lọ ń gbàdí ọmọ ọlọ́mọ, tàbí tí mo wà níbì kan tí mo gbé puff ọmọ kan tí mò ń rà lórí TikTok, ẹ follow mi. Ẹ ṣáà pín eléyìí, ẹ má bínú, ó dàbọ̀. Màá padà wá tó bá mẹ́ni wá. Jọ tí ẹyin tútù bá forí sàpàtà lẹ́wọ̀ ara rẹ̀ bàjẹ́, ó dàbọ̀.